Hey, we are live on the YouTubes. I have these on just to show you that we actually have masks available.
Wait, are we getting robbed?
No, we're not getting robbed.
Okay.
I'm Prison Mike.
I'm Prison Mike. Yo, this is what it's like in prison. I know what it's like because I'm Prison Mike.
The worst thing about prison is the Dementors.
Anyway, no, we have masks that go over your ear. Obviously, if you want to represent dynamic discs while you're doing that, or we have this one that can go over your head, or it can do all kinds of different things. And what's really cool is that it has the two different colors. So if you want more of the dark theme, you can do it this way.
I'm more of a dark theme guy.
More of a
myself,
dark
If
theme guy.
you're trying to be Batman,
basically.
Or if you want the lighter theme,
then you're trying to be Wolverine.
Wait, Wolverine's like
More
guess he has
like
blue
yellow and blue.
sometimes, yeah.
Blue is more of an accent.
and the D's are oriented
the
so that
correct way.
so they go currently. So anyway,
Yeah.
if you're looking for a stylish mask, make sure you check out our masks we have at dynamicdisc.com.
Chris, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. Really appreciate that.
Bobby, can you show us that first one again? Your mic covered the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this one?
Sergeant Handy says he never got caught neither.
This one?
But you're in prison.
Neither.
Never got caught neither. Chris says audio is strange.
Audio thinks Chris is strange. It just told me.
That's a good point.
I don't agree, but you know, it's up to you.
Slow-mo and echo.
Sounds like a band. Audio is strange. Or the theme of a concert. I don't know.
Do we have the camera audio on again or no?
That'll do it.
Wait, the mic's not even plugged in.
The camera mic isn't.
Is it on auto level?
Oh, it might be. Hold, please.
Because I'm not sure which camera.
It's on manual.
Manual?
It sounded fine earlier, didn't it?
Can anyone else confirm that it sounds strange, or is it just the one gentleman? Or lady? I didn't catch
It was a gentleman.
I've decided for this episode of Disc Golf Answer Man, I'm going to do something different. Okay? I'm going to be the square. I'm going to be the logical, the serious, because I feel like I just joke around too much, right? I'm too lighthearted. I'm going to be Spock.
As you are doing right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be Spock for this episode of Answer Man.
Okay.
So then Bobby gets to be Prison
Isn't
Mike.
that kind of, I feel like there's some irony here.
Why?
Because you're coming off saying, I'm going to not be funny. I'm going to be Spock. Which
Exactly.
is like taking it to another level, which means it sounds very joking.
I can understand why you think that way, but I disagree.
Yeah. See? Even in that, you jest. Which is the opposite of what you're trying to achieve.
I'm going to be logical.
It didn't
factual.
seem very justy to me.
It did to me.
I mean, if it's funny, that's just a coincidence. But I'm going to try it and just logical, factual. We'll see how it goes.
Chaser,
Okay,
yeah,
whereas all the other times you're just spouting out whatever comes off the top of your head.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just saying, okay, yeah.
they say a slight echo still. Chaser, the hair is free. It's just it's bridled right now. It's covered up.
What if it's because
You've been wearing hats a lot.
You know what?
You're ashamed of your hair now?
You know
or
what? Yeah, I'm losing it.
something? Okay.
No, I'm not.
Is your hair receding? Have you done it? You sound disappointed.
No. I'm not disappointed.
not.
I'm a little
You're
like
just going gray?
a lot of people. No, I have a couple of white hairs. I can show them to you.
No, thanks.
They're on my head, Bobby. Okay. Anyway, whatever. I have spent the majority of my life never wearing hats. And also, let's get this out there. I did not always have nice hair. I've always had a lot of hair.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, but it's like I used to shave it by myself in college. I had super spikes for a little while. It's only been as of the last how many years? Maybe like 8 or 9 that I've adopted the hairstyle that I have now, which I think fits better than any of the others have.
that seems like a logical progression.
Thank you. But I've never really worn hats. When I started playing golf, it kind of became a necessity because of the shade. And now it's kind of comfortable. It's like a blanket, you know, it's like a blanket for your head. But to answer your question, no, I say my hair is not receding, and I sound disappointed because a lot of people who are my age, that happens to them. It has not happened to me, and I'm good with it. I just don't want to throw it in anyone's face.
What's the hair situation for your grandfather?
My Okay, my mom's dad
Yep.
he passed away a few years ago, but he had a full head of hair when he died.
Well, that's on your side then.
Should be okay.
Yeah, so you should be good to go.
Turns out the person who was complaining about the echo had their playback speed at 0.75%. That's what I was laughing at earlier. And so we're talking about fixing the reverb in the room, just what happens, the echoey stuff. We had some sound panels up. We had like the eggshell stuff, the foam stuff. Literally every single one of them has fallen down since we put them up.
So, but we have, I don't know, can we?
Yeah, Rusko talked about it on updates.
Okay, so we are potentially going to have a new space, new studio for us sometime next year. So we are hopeful on that. So bear with
Can't
us.
come soon enough.
Was the change in hairstyle relative to meeting my wife? No, I met my wife before. I really only started wearing this when we moved to Austin. So that would have been,
It's interesting.
yeah, like 7 or 8 years ago now.
Do you wear a hairstyle?
I mean, that's how
you
he
just
said it.
grow it? Or style it?
Yeah. I think you could say I wear a hairstyle, but I just say this is how my hair is.
Yeah.
This is how I do my hair.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is how I style my hair.
Yeah,
It's a
You
do.
grow the hair, but then you style it.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
The do has to be in
Fascinating
italics, though.
topics on a disc golf podcast.
Hey,
for
look,
sure.
I didn't bring it up. These guys brought it up. Okay.
All right.
You're welcome, Ty.
How are we? We good on audio?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just hang up some blankets on the what?
To dampen the audio.
Oh, gotcha. I thought we were still talking about hair.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't be able to see Anthony. That's kind of where the problem area is.
Scott, it's true.
In Robert's case, the hair wears him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. You rock a hairstyle. There you go. I'm good.
you rock a hairstyle.
All right. Hey, you guys want to talk about disc golf?
Yeah, I was waiting for the signal from Anthony so we can. Oh, you good?
Anthony.
Ready? Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Robert McCall and Danny Lindahl.
Hey.
Eric McCabe is out on assignment. I'm probably designing some amazing course that we'll find out soon enough where that's at. So it is the second week of September.
Yes.
And the weather has been beautiful here in Emporia.
Yes.
I was not able to play any disc golf this last weekend. I did a lot of chores around the house, got some stuff clean, put together. I'm excited. I'm getting some furniture delivered. I'm super excited about the new house. Did any of you guys get to play any disc golf?
I played disc golf this weekend.
No way.
I really did it. Also, Tyler, thanks for the 5. He says he's got to get back to work. Have a good show. Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
I did. I played in a 4-man scramble for the Habitat for Humanity charity tournament at Hammond. I played with McCabe, Rusko, and Chris Edson. We had high hopes, right?
Yes.
I mean,
It's a pretty stacked group.
yeah, like we should.
High in the sky?
It seems logical that
Yeah.
you guys should win that event
Like
based on your
wheel in
ratings.
the sky keeps on turning.
Saying it's
kind of
logical, does it make it logical? Just to let you know.
Well, yeah, I'm aware, but based on their ratings and based on their skill in the past and the way they play that course, it would simply make sense that they should win.
We probably should have. Instead, we tied for second. We shot a 16. We missed hole 3, which I figured we would miss that once, but we also missed hole 4. That was bad, and we did it right in a row.
That's not logical.
Yeah. Then after that, we birdied all the rest, but yeah, it was just a bit of a struggle, but we had a good time. Isaiah Esquivel aced hole 8, their third to last hole. They had already parred 2 holes, but that got them back on track, so they shot a 17 and 1.
Statistically improbable, but understandable.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Nice.
Anyway,
All
but
right.
we had fun. All of us made some good shots. Kristen, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but he's
No, Chris actually threw some really good shots. It was fun.
I didn't play disc golf on Saturday. My mom was in town visiting, just on her way up to Wisconsin to visit her mom.
Yeah.
And she stopped by, and I taught her how to play Minecraft on stream. It was so fun.
Did she get into it?
She was trying really hard. She was really focused on what she did. She didn't die. She found diamonds her first time ever
I'm assuming that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, she did really well. And then I just played a quick casual round on Sunday.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, we've got a lot going on this weekend. Actually, is United States Amateur Match Play Championship. Players from all different states are coming into Emporia, Kansas to go for the championship and take home the I keep forgetting. We're doing the regular prizes, right? Even though it's, So they're going to take home 18 veteran baskets and a $10,000, or we like to say discs for life, asterisk, $10,000 worth of discs. But anyway, so it's going to be an exciting weekend here in Emporia. Me and Anthony are going to do some media stuff for that. So make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitters and all that, so you can kind of keep up on what's happening and maybe root on your favorite representative from your state for sure.
Is that multiple Twitters?
Yes.
I thought there was
I might tweet myself from my own account.
No, I thought there was just the one.
Not in my universe.
Is it? Are you doing a Danny thing now where you take a pause in between?
Yes,
Not
that's
in
how
my universe.
I'm assuming that it was just a mistake on Bobby's part, adding an S on the end of Twitter.
Thank you for the explanation.
That would make sense logically.
Thank you.
Yes, obviously, yes. All right, so let's get to the disc golf questions. We're losing everything on as we go. This first one comes from Levi. This one, he wants to know the best plastic for wardens.
Yes.
Yes, all of them. Hi, Disc Golf Answer fam. I used to always putt with a beaded putter for no other reason than that was my for no other reason than that was what was first put in my hand.
Yep.
However, I recently got a beadless putter in a mystery pack and really noticed how much cleaner of a release I got. The only problem with the new putter is I don't like how stiff and slippery it feels. I always hear Robert go on and on and on and on about wardens, and I'm interested.
Yeah, you should be.
I added a few and-ons there. My question is, what plastic should I get it in if I like a little more tack and grip? Love the show, and as always, keep it real.
Yeah, Levi, thanks for asking. I like wardens of all plastics. I've thrown, other than a soft warden, I've bagged pretty much every plastic of warden in my bag at one point. But the plastic that you're looking for is probably classic blend plastic. As long as it's not very hot outside, I think you're really going to like the way that it feels and the way that it flies. If you like the blend plastic, but it's a little too flexible for you, you can always go to classic, or you can try prime. Prime has a little bit more tack and is kind of in stiffness. It's kind of in between classic and classic blend. So I would start with classic blend and then go from there.
I'd say based on your comments asking for a tackier grip, I would concur. Yes, the blend plastic seems the most logical choice.
Yes, thank you.
All right, this one's from Josh. I've been playing for about 11 months now, and I love Trilogy discs. I started playing in the league about 2 months ago. I immediately noticed how many people in the club use carts. I originally thought they were silly, but am starting to see their potential. I live in South Florida, and it is hot and humid. By the end of a round, I am drenched from sweat. I noticed around hole 14 or 15 that I start to get fatigued, and I don't put as much mental effort into my shots. I'm about not small in stature and in pretty good shape. Carrying around an extra 20 pounds on my back is taxing. Have any of you switched from a bag to a cart? If so, did you notice a difference in your play? A cart would be a significant investment for me and appreciate your advice.
I've kind of switched back and forth this season. I've gone from carrying my bag to carrying a cart. I guess not carrying a cart, pulling a cart. And the biggest difference to me is how much energy I have after the round. If I play around and I have to carry my bag, I'm just more tired afterwards because you're having to pick up and set down the bag so many times. It doesn't seem like that much effort in the moment, but if you figure you set it down to tee off, set it down to upshot, set it down to pick up a basket or to putt out, that's like 3 shots, 3 times you're having to basically curl your bag per hole, and that's gonna wear you out over the course. The downside to having a cart is the terrain. If you have like a creeks that you have to cross or things like that, that can be a lot harder with the cart. But other than that, the energy save is very much worth it.
I'm with you on that. I like carts on courses that are friendly for carts. Like if you go play either Jones course, great cart courses. Emporia Country Club, fantastic. Most places here in town actually are great cart courses. But if you were to go somewhere where there's a lot of elevation, like Waterworks in Kansas City, I would just carry your bag there. Pushing or pulling a cart uphill is much more tiring than the energy that you save, kind of just letting it roll downhill or not having to carry something. So the more that you have to hassle with a cart, the less I want to use it on a course. So if it's flat, open, or just doesn't have a whole lot of ups and downs or creaks or anything like that, I go with a cart. I love a cart for that. But carrying a bag isn't bad either.
The other thing to consider with a cart is that now, depending on what cart you get, but is depending on like if you had the size of your vehicle. So like if a bunch of you jump into a car to go play a course and everybody's got a cart, that's going to take up a lot more extra room. So you kind of have to plan ahead a little bit as far as when you have a cart, depending on the size of your vehicle. Also, the other thing is if it's been raining and it's muddy, you're going to get mud all over those wheels. Yep. Now, it sounds like I'm not advocating for a cart. I do love the carts. As the old guy on the show, the cart does save my back, and I like being able to have a chair with like an instant chair with me because of the type of cart that I have. But yeah, it does take up a little bit extra room in your vehicle for sure.
Quick note, Thomas Lundquist said, I end up pulling the cart with my throwing hand. Hard to get rid of that habit, but I guess it's possible if I really want to. Yeah, if I was going to give you any advice, pull it with your non-throwing hand or push it, whichever one you like to do. I prefer that just so that I get less fatigue on my throwing side. Same as if I'm carrying a bag. If I'm just going to carry it over one shoulder, I always try to pick it up with my offhand as much as possible.
Yep.
Joseph wants to know, I've been working on my forehands a lot recently, and I have a consistent problem of getting the nose up too much when I throw. What are some techniques I can be doing during my practice work to fix this?
I like fixing your grip. I don't know what your grip is like, Kirby. Sorry, that was from the email address. Joseph. Oh. So if you're ever watching the show, especially if you're watching it right now, I'm going to demonstrate it for you. I like to, for the longest time, I had trouble torquing the disc over. This may be the opposite problem for you, but when I had that problem, it was because I put the pads of my fingers up against the underside of the disc. And when I turned those fingers to the side so that the pads of my fingers were facing toward the rim or toward my target line, that made it more of just a side-to-side motion than a like flipping my wrist over motion. That helped me a lot. Check that grip and see if that helps you. And then the only other part that I would worry about is you might be trying to use too much arm or too much wrist. Those really need to work hand in hand with one another. That's not pun intended at all, but those need to go together. If you have too much of one or the other, that can cause nose issues. What do you think?
Follow through is usually the reason that discs are nose up, besides grip. I mean, grip, obviously, if the disc is sitting nose up in your hand, it doesn't matter how you throw it, it's going to go nose up. Right. But the most common cause that I see of nose up is a low follow through, right? People who play ultimate, a lot of times you have to throw underneath your defender's arms or something like that. You tend to have that low release, and that causes that air skip. And so something that Oakley talks about a lot is follow through forward first. And so if your follow through is down the fairway, that's much more likely to help get the disc nose down rather than kind of snapping your wrist. A lot of times, if you just do that, that'll snap it down, and that will cause the disc to come nose up.
Excellent. Tyler wants to know about air bounce. Why they do that?
Oh, why they do that?
Why they do that? Who knows? This is a why they do that question. One of my favorite things to watch a disc do is air bounce. Ooh, I don't think it's my favorite. I hate it when
it depends on what kind of disc you're throwing.
Where in the disc? Where in the flight too?
My brother and I were playing the other day in the wind, and he asked how discs do that. I don't know the answer. I don't know how to answer him. So all-knowing disc golf answerman, why they do that.
I wonder if he's talking about at the beginning of the throw or like later in the throw, if there's a crosswind, your disc dancing up and down. Because early in the throw, if your shot's air bouncing, it's similar to what we just talked about. It's usually a low follow through and a high reach back. You're air bouncing the disc and it's kind of rising down the fairway. Generally, it's a waste of energy because you're throwing the disc at the ground effectively, and then the tangential velocity is what takes it down the fairway. But if a disc gets air bouncing late in the flight, usually that's when there's a crosswind and the disc is mostly flat. And that's because as the wind kind of undulates and goes through the air, it's going to catch the disc differently and cause it to do funky things.
Yeah. So if it's happening at the beginning, most of the time nose up and thrown at the ground, the wind just kind of causes it to rise.
Yeah.
But if you're playing in a super wind, sometimes people say the words air bounce when they really mean just like a drop or a lift. It's not. Air bounce really happens more in the beginning of the flight than it does at the end. Air bounce as we think about it, I guess. Yeah. Yes.
Someone does that here in Emporia. Is it Dom that does the where?
Yeah, that's exactly how he throws it.
Yeah.
He throws toward the ground and it just rises up. It's slightly nose up. And considering that's the type of style that he throws really far and pretty efficiently. But yes, it's that type of throw.
That's what I was trying, because I remember playing with, just when you described that, Danny, the first type throw, I was like, I remember seeing that. Oh yeah, it's Dom.
Yeah. Super fast. If you've thrown an ultimate frisbee before or seen someone who's good at freestyle, that's kind of the type of throw that they throw to get their kind of freestyle started, is something a little bit nose up, traveling up, but slow so that it's easy to catch and get started. If you don't know what we're talking about, but you've seen that, maybe that helps you to identify what we're talking about.
Gotcha. Next one is from Justin. I remember Robert saying the keystone is a combination of the warden and deputy. I just can't remember which mold was used for the top and the bottom. Could you clarify? Also, in order, rank the likelihood of base plastic getting the worst damage. Okay.
I don't know that the keystone is literally a combination of the warden and the deputy.
Yeah, the keystone top and bottom are keystone top, keystone bottom. It is not warden top, deputy bottom or anything like that. I'm saying if the warden and deputy mixed kind of right down the middle, that's kind of where the keystone would sit.
As far as their flight characteristics.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a top and a bottom mold thing. It's just where it sits flight wise. Okay. Rank the likelihood of base plastic getting the worst damage. I guess he's saying from classic soft, classic blend, classic hard, and prime, which one gets damaged the fastest?
I would say the reverse order from what you just listed them.
Right. So prime takes damage the most and the quickest, then classic hard, classic blend, then classic soft. There you go.
I would agree.
Thank you.
This is from Garrett. I have recently started playing disc golf and on occasion take my 5-year-old son with me. Normally, he just grabs a disc out of my bag and plays along. I'm looking at getting him his own set. Do you recommend getting the junior discs, or would it be better for him to start off throwing a full-size, lighter weight disc?
How old?
5.
5? I think it depends on how long your arms are. Because if a disc is shorter than the distance between the base of your hand and your elbow, then you probably should be able to throw a full-size disc, which I would imagine most 5-year-olds are that sized. But if you're smaller than that, then you're literally not going to be able to put the disc in the power pocket, and then you might benefit more from throwing the junior discs.
I think I would just start with junior disc just to learn and to let him have his own set.
It'll be
easy
a lot
to
easier
differentiate.
to snap.
Yes, definitely.
All right, next one comes from Jake. I'm having trouble throwing right-handed Anheuser shots backhand. I either turn it over too much and it becomes a very bad roller, or I fluff it and it skies and turned back left really quickly. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Please send help.
Well, welcome to throwing Anheisers, where just a couple of degrees are the difference between an awesome shot and a very terrible shot. Talk about this one.
When you're throwing an Anheuser, it's important to know your disc really, really well. Right. Most people, I would say, when they think of throwing an Anheuser, they think of throwing their most understable disc. But the reality is, if you throw your most understable disc on Anheuser, that's probably going to be the time where it cuts and rolls. Usually your most understable disc, you throw about flat, and then the disc works to the Anheuser. Right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then if you want to throw, and that shot is generally like straight and then finishes right. It's not going to be the big high Anheuser that you see a lot of times. But if you want to throw that big booming tall Anheuser, generally you actually have to throw a slightly more stable disc, because you want to throw it on that Anheuser release really high and trust that it's not going to cut into the ground, and generally it'll fly that big curve and then just kind of finish straight.
Yeah, it's fighting to stay off the ground with that stability, because it really wants to get back to the left. When it's riding to the right, we call that panning, and that's kind of where you see those huge kind of towering Anheuser shots. Exactly.
Yeah. As far as technique, you kind of have to reach way lower and make sure that even though your release is high, you want to follow through down.
Yes.
You kind of want to match the plane of your follow through and your pull with the plane of the disc. If you run up like with your leaned over your toes and you're like you're trying to throw a hyzer, and then all of a sudden try to just correct for the Anheuser with your wrist, that's not going to work out very well. You kind of have to lean back a little bit more and change the whole plane of your shot to match that Anheuser angle.
Yeah, and I would say that knowing the disc that's number one most important. But well, it's maybe not number one most important. But if you throw something very overstable, you're just not going to have as good results as you would something neutral to understable. But that follow through, learning where that is for you is the biggest deal, because the difference between an Anheuser follow through and a nose up follow through is not much. And it's very easy to mix the two up, as it sounds like you've done here. So yeah, we got a super chat here from Derek Fretwell, $5. Thank you, Derek. He says, I'm currently riding out Hurricane Sally, but I still have Wi-Fi for Disc Golf Answer Man. That's what I'm talking about, Derek. He says, keep it up and keep it real. # Team Judge. # sorry, Robert. Thank you for apologizing. Thank you so much. A second ago in the chat, Derek said, just switch to Team Judge. And I just said, get out. I said I was sorry. I said, I don't care.
All right, next one comes from Don. I've been looking for a straight throwing putter that has a little bit of left finish. I really like the way that the shallow profile of the Pure feels, but it seems to be straight to understable. I have a BT Hybrid Crown from the Trilogy Challenge that seems to have just about the right flight. What would be a good suggestion for that Crown flight with a shallower profile?
Shield?
No, I think he said the Crown is about the right flight.
Yes.
Right? So I would say then you'd want to go with like a Maiden. A little bit shallower with the bead, pretty straight. It's not going to be as stable as the Crown, but it's going to be pretty close, especially if you get a premium plastic. That would be the one that I would suggest.
I think a Shield, aren't Crowns pretty overstable?
Not as overstable as a Shield.
Oh, okay. Maybe not that. Maybe like a Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, Gauntlet
Something
might
like
be good, but it's also still kind of deep. The only shallow beaded one I can think of really that's not very unstable is the Maiden. So
and putters are definitely a thing where you have to go feel
Yes.
what they feel like and see what happens.
totally.
Totes. Next one comes from
We are blowing
Adlai?
through questions.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know if
Adlai?
anybody's realized.
This one's on the radar.
Crushing it.
A little background.
Okay,
I wish I had like background music.
I'll try and get you some.
I carry 7 drivers in my bag. A metal flake. No, stop.
Okay, stop.
It was distracting me. I was like, what's the next note? What's
I
going
was
to
seeing how long I could do it.
Okay. I carry 7 drivers in my bag. A metal flake PD2 for massive headwinds and or super around the corner shots. 4 Star Destroyers of varying stability. I started playing after Paul's 4th Worlds. Okay. A Champ Boss for sentimental reasons. And a Colossus for drives I never want to fade back. I can throw my Destroyers on a pure hyzer about 400. Can flex it out to about 475 on a good day. So my question, I hear you guys talk about the Raider all the time. If I can only get one, where does it fit in my bag? I'm ready to ditch my Colossus because it is basically a roller disc at this point. I'm debating on adding to my Destroyer lineup or branching out a little. Thanks. P.S. I do throw some DDs, just none in the driver's slot at this time. Well, prepared to be amazed.
But about what?
The Raider.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a disc for you?
Yep. It's good.
I was going to say something different, but now that you said the Raider, I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. Yeah, I think the Raider is absolutely the answer here. It's going to fit into your Destroyer lineup probably, but go ahead. You've thrown it quite a bit more than me at this point.
I mean, the Biofusion is going to be the least overstable. It's going to be, it might be a little bit more understable. It sounds like it's going to be about the stability of your Colossus. Once it's a little bit seasoned, definitely not new, but
out of the box, pretty stable still.
Yeah, out of the box, pretty straight flyer. Once it's got, some time on it, then it'll start to hold right a little bit more. The Fusion Destroyers or Destroyers?
Yeah.
Raiders. Fusion Raiders are usually, I'm thinking Destroyer. I'm trying to remember the last time I threw a Destroyer. Yeah. I think it was literally like 7 years ago.
Mine would have been 2013.
2013?
Mini Moons.
So it's been a minute. Anyway, Fusion Raiders are like, usually a little bit straighter, especially if they're not quite as domey. And then the Lucid Raiders are going to be the most overstable, especially if you can find those pop top ones, usually the ones that are kind of opaque, you can't really see through. Those are going to be stable.
Yeah, dumpy even. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say, yeah, those are going to probably fit into where your Destroyers are. Like Danny said, the Biofusion one might work into that Colossus spot for you. You might also just try out a Lucid Trespass and see how you like that out of the box. For someone who throws 475 of power, it's likely going to turn and not really come back for you, but not be so much of a roller. So those are the two that I would try out. Any plastic of the Raider is very, very good. And then you would probably like the Lucid Trespass.
If you're looking for something to do this weekend and have the opportunity to try some new discs, and you live in the Anna, Bloomington, Illinois area, Cameron Park, California, New York. Oh, wait, I want to say this. Tonawanda.
Yeah, I think that's really close.
Tonawanda, New York, Pennsylvania, Louisiana, Ohio.
No,
Arkansas,
you didn't say the name of the Pennsylvania.
Wilkes-Barre.
Oh,
Barry.
It's from The Office. They say it in there.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't remember that episode. Arkansas, Michigan, Massachusetts, Oregon, and Overclinton, Robertsford, Sweden.
Where in Arkansas?
It is Bryant.
Oh, it's probably at the tracks.
Yeah?
That's actually one of my favorite courses in the area.
Yeah, tracks at Bishop Park.
Oh, sick.
Nice. Yeah. So, or in Connecticut. What I'm talking about is the Trilogy Challenge. These are the areas that we'll be playing, Trilogy Challenge events will be taking place. If you want to look to see if that's close to where you're at, make sure you check out trilogychallenge.com/events.
Yeah.
Next question comes from us.
Diggin' DG said, have you guys got SPZ3 back in for a Trilogy Challenge? Yes, we received a shipment of those. Those are starting to go back out.
We actually got more than 3 as well.
Yes.
Unlike you would assume with the name.
Yeah. Multiple SPZ3s beyond.
Do you think they are never mind. That was as I thought. I thought that was dumb to say.
Yeah, it's all
okay,
right.
Joey wants to
At
know.
least you stopped yourself.
This is true.
Improvement.
I'm getting better. Joey has a question about tournaments. Why are TDs obsessed with making all courses par 3? Oh,
Why are they?
why they do that? It's awesome making that difficult par 5 to realize you scored a double bogey.
I was talking to my friend the other day. We were just at a dinner, and we were talking about something, and he was like, par 3s. He was obsessed with it. He couldn't stop talking about it the whole
Really?
time. No.
He's going to go see somebody about it?
No, not at all.
No? Okay.
No, okay.
Maybe you should try that stop that I tried.
Here's where I will advocate for counting everything as a par 3 because it makes it easier to score your round.
Literally the only reason.
That is the only reason that I say that's how I keep score during a round. If I'm just out playing, I don't really keep up with what the par is or whatever. We just write numbers down at the end of the round. We get to the scorecard. If I see a 3, I think that's par. If I see a 4, I say bogey, 5 double. Even though if I was playing a par 5, I know that after I add everything up, it's a par. But it's just easier to add that way instead of referencing, like if I see a 5, now I have to look up at the top and say, is this a par 5? Okay, I got a par. I like it for the ease of adding things up.
Plus, sometimes like if baskets are in a different position or something like that, tournament layout, new OB, you might change the par, and that's not always recorded on the signs.
Yes. Yeah. So for me, the real utility is you could hand me a scorecard and not tell me what the par of the course is, just hand it to me, and I would be able to add it up a lot more quickly than someone who is going relative to par on every single hole, just because in my mind, everything counts as a par 3. Now, when you go and play that course, it's obvious if something is not a par 3, a par 4, if it's a par 5, it's only for counting. At the end of the round, then you say, oh, for me, I would say, all right, I shot a 4 over, that's 58, but maybe par is 64.
Sick, way to go.
Whatever, great. I shot 6 under. That's just the easiest way for me to keep up with the score. That's it. I don't think that every hole is a par 3 as a result.
Just mentally, I like to think of them as 1-shot holes, 2-shot holes, 3-shot holes.
Yeah,
A par 3 is usually a 1-shot hole where you're trying to drive the green in 1 shot. A par 4 is a 2-shot hole. You're trying to drive and throw another shot, and then you're on the green.
Yep.
And that's usually, I think, the way course designers tend to think as well.
Yeah, I think they should.
Yeah. So it's really just for doing the math at the end.
Yes.
I'm so fast at adding up scorecards.
Dude, same.
We should race. You're going down.
I dominated that when we had what was the caddy games that we were doing a couple years ago. Flew through that.
I've helped so many TDs add up the scorecards.
Same.
Okay, but
Also same.
but shut up. Okay, we'll do this. We'll settle this.
Okay, I'm in.
I don't care.
You don't play tournaments.
This is very true.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Joey wants to know about some putting tips. I can make 50 to 70% of putts from crazy angles at 30 to 85 feet.
Holy cow.
Sounds like you're pretty solid.
I miss all straight putts at 50 feet, but my biggest problem is I can't make a 15 to 25 foot putt. It bounces off the rim of the basket every time.
Sounds gaseous.
Okay, Joey, I have questions.
This doesn't seem very logical.
No, it doesn't, because if you let's say you make half of your 30 footers a 30 footer and a 25 footer are really not that much different. You should just be able to adjust your aiming point. I mean, the smallest amount, or honestly, almost none, and then just toss it in there, right? And if you're making them from 85 feet, my guess is that you're not throwing huge arcs. You're probably a little bit more of a direct line putter.
That's a good point.
So for you to say that you have such a high percentage from a long ways away, but are struggling close, that means you're probably just not following through like you should on the shorter putts. 15 to 25 footers are the place where I feel like those are the ones that you need to make. And if you don't follow through, you're not going to make it, plain and simple. If you do follow through, you give yourself so much better of a chance to make it than if you don't. Rarely do you not follow through and just happen to get the disc in the basket. I don't know. I'm pretty intense on follow through. If you don't, you're not going to be happy.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think that a lot of times it sounds like it might be a mental issue. Like I know when I was working on putting a lot more, I would try and focus on my technique, right? I was like, oh, I should try and backswing like this, or maybe a little bit different angle, or maybe try springing my fingers differently or something like that. And when I focused so much on the minute little details, then it made it a lot harder to actually putt.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember all of those while you're throwing, and you have to focus on so much. Sometimes in your head, you forget to aim, or you psych yourself out. You're like, oh, I'm going to forget something, and you're worried, and then you miss. The best way to putt, I think, is just to throw it. However you naturally throw the disc should be your putt. And so then when you're on those 25, 30, and that's probably why on the longer putts, that you're so much higher percentage, because you're worried about all the other things. You're not really worried about your specific form. So on those shorter putts, I would encourage you to just imagine the flight that the disc has to take to get in the basket, and then focus everything on just putting the disc there, and don't worry about how to do it. Mm-hmm. Just put the disc on that line and trust that through your practice, your body will know how to do that.
Yeah, I like that. There's a couple of different aiming methods when putting. I like picking a link and watching that all the way through, even after I've let the disc go. That helps me to focus on following through and not think, like Danny said, so much about mechanics. I've let some really gross looking putts go, but because I watched my link all the way through and followed through, they just snuck in. I think that's one benefit of doing that. I know that Ron Converse thinks about like putting through a window, like the disc needs to go through this portion. And if it goes through here, then it's going to make it. Couple of good ways to think about focusing. But for me, I like to pick a link and just watch it all the way through, even after I let the disc go. If I take my eyes off of that link to look at the putter while it's in the air, more than likely I'm not following through as well as I should.
I don't know if you've ever played Wii Golf, but when you're on the tee and you see that like ribbon kind of thing,
yes,
that shows you where your ball is going to go if you hit it properly. That's what I imagine.
Hit that thing.
Just that little blue ribbon goes straight at the basket.
Nice shot.
I imagine a hard taco shell sideways, and then I have to put the disc through the...
Is that what you think about?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Helps me every time.
The only problem is it's just the shell.
Helps me every time.
Hey, speaking of, the Torchies in Wichita opens tomorrow.
Mañana. I love you. Tomorrow.
What are you doing
on a Wednesday?
What are you doing on? It's the 16th. That's what they said.
We might have to take a afternoon off.
Santa, how much of a lunch break you got?
You got any PTO saved up? Let's see. Throw down the tower. This is a subject from apparently someone who's related to me. Warm sun, rough wind.
No, they're not. They're your nemesis.
My nemesis. All right. In this hypothetical situation, you're able to throw off the Freedom Tower in a completely deserted New York City. You are able to place a pin anywhere in the city to make for a giant one-hole course.
Nice.
Oof. What disc are you throwing off the tee? Where is the pin? And what is the par of the hole? 3, of course. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm trying to drive the hole.
Yeah.
Duh. Every hole's a par 3.
All right, Robert, you tell us, where would we put the pin?
Okay, well, here's the problem. I'm not really familiar with the layout of New York City.
Same.
So I would...
Central Park.
Anthony?
So I would put...
I outclock.
Are you familiar with New York City?
I have been to New York City one time.
Yeah, I've been there twice.
So you have a map of it, right?
I'm
memorized.
basically an expert. Yeah, I pretty much live there.
All right. Well,
I'm just going to throw it towards Central Park. That's not how they talk.
Just
in New York,
throw
but
it.
That's what I'm doing.
we're gonna offend all our New Yorker listeners. Appreciate you.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, please stop stereotyping us. We're intelligent people as well. I actually would, if I was throwing from the top of a tower, though, I actually would make it a par 3 because downhill par 3s.
So you could count it better.
No, because downhill par 3s, like super downhill shots, those are just really fun to throw. It's cool to do that for a par 4, especially if it's like an 800-foot par 4, but you can cover 600 feet off of the tee because it's so downhill. That's cool, but I'd probably make a par 3. I don't know where I would put it. Yeah, that's what I would do.
I would put it in Central Park, wherever that is. But it depends on what the wind is doing, right? If it's a tailwind, I'm probably throwing a getaway, something that is slower speed, because I'm not going to be able to get something faster up to speed in the tailwind. But the slower speed, and it's a getaway, it's just going to glide for days. In a headwind, I'd probably throw like a Lucid Raider or something, just fight the headwind. Someone suggested to put it in the hands of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, that would work.
That seems like absurdly far.
Par 1 million.
Yes, okay. But I mean, throwing downhill, you generally have to throw a faster, more stable disc. So yeah, probably one of those. And then, or you could go like super flippy and just watch it keep flipping.
Yes.
Okay. So Central Park is about 12 miles away from the Freedom Tower.
Okay. If I threw a flick, I could get there.
Yeah. However, if you took a car there, 11.1 miles would take you 54 minutes.
Yeah.
If you right click and measure distance from Freedom Tower to Freedom Tower
This
to Central
says
Park.
6.7 miles is what Doc said. Maybe that's by walking.
Straight line.
Yeah.
So definitely flick territory. Not
Yeah, just one flick territory.
Yeah.
On to the next.
Still part 3.
Of course.
All right, next question comes from...
Nope.
That's weird.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
All right, here we go. This is from Julio.
Oh,
My future son.
Your son.
Not actually his name.
Okay, so the subject. I have not read this question, but it says for the subject, sports talk show style debate.
If only we didn't already have hot
this
takes
reminds
today.
me of, I saw 30 Rock one time. They had, what's his name? The black guy. He goes on a show, Sports Shouting.
Oh, Tracy Morgan.
That's it, Tracy Morgan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He goes on Sports Shouting, and it's like I think it's modeled after Around the Horn, where it's just like 4 people in these little squares, and they're all just just screaming at each other. I imagine that's what he's looking for.
Sports shouting. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Such a gem. That's such a good show.
Dude, it really is.
Underrated is hilarious.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man fam, love the show. I have some burning questions designed to hopefully start some debate. Kind of like sports shows like to do. Here goes. Number 1. Magic Genie allows you to transport the physical attributes such as mechanics, throwing power, putting accuracy, etc. to yourself. Mental games stay your own. Sorry. Who you got, Paul Macbeth or Eagle McMahon?
I'll take Eagle.
I'll take Macbeth.
Oh boy. Paul's form probably fits my body better, so probably Paul.
Well, I mean, mine too. We're very similarly shaped, but now I can throw a forehand farther than anybody.
Except me.
Oh, well, except for Danny Bigfoot.
Wait, can I keep my forehand? I don't want to lose distance.
No, sorry. No, yeah, that's a good question. Mechanically, they're both super good.
Yeah.
I mean, really elite mechanical players.
Here's why I think I would choose Paul is because I feel like Eagle has to disc down and throw slower discs too often. Okay. Where it would be more comfortable, more advantageous to throw faster discs. I mean, obviously he could just power down, but I'm more comfortable at a higher end of my power. And so I don't know if that would carry over, but it just feels like Paul's game is designed better for courses we have now.
Yeah.
Maybe if in the future when courses get 200 feet longer per hole, then Eagle will have the advantage there. But I think I like Paul.
Yeah. Now, not to say that Paul doesn't already throw much farther than me. He does. But I think Eagle throws a little bit farther than him.
Yes.
I'm taking all the distance I can get. It hasn't been the thing, but one of the things that held me back from being like, pretty solid at disc golf. I just can't really throw that far. So I'll take Eagle's distance. Thank you.
Also, it says transfer. Does that mean that they don't have it anymore? Transplant. Does that mean that they don't have it anymore?
Yeah, you take it from them. It's like the Little Mermaid when Ursula takes her voice.
Oh, I was thinking of.
I'm just saying. Then they walk around like,
Just imagine.
What do I do with it? See, they don't know.
Imagine Paul Macbeth goes to his next event and throws like me, but he has his mental game.
Yeah,
Does he still win?
probably not.
You don't think?
Last
Hard
one.
right.
for sure.
If it's forehand course, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean, otherwise. Okay.
All right, number 2. You're betting $100,000 on a player.
I don't have $100,000.
Can I just keep the 100,000?
Yes. Playing a brand new, never played before woods course designed by EMAC. Email Eric at Course Designs. Thanks for that. Appreciate
Nice
that.
one.
Who you got? Michael Joe or James Conrad?
Conrad.
I'll take Michael Joe.
I was thinking Michael Joe.
Really?
I'll take Michael Joe for the. He said never before played.
Yes.
I'm thinking James laces lines in the woods. Like, he is so freaking good in the woods.
But
it seems like his misses are a little bit worse than Michael Joe's.
And actually, I'm like to change my answer to Michael Joe because EMAC's wooded courses are usually kind of trickier in a way.
Very.
Like Brewster's Ridge is like pure wide open. I mean, open as far as wooded courses, just hallways. Whereas EMAC tends to have still fair, but a little bit trickier lines that you have to hit. And I feel like Michael Joe's game fits that better. So yeah, Michael Joe.
Yeah.
Number 3, Trilogy Challenge doubles at Peter Pan with Torchy's Tacos on the line.
I'm there.
Who you got? EMAC and Bobby, or Robert and Anthony, or Dixon Jowers and Danny?
Ooh, that's actually really good teams.
What was it? EMAC and Bobby?
EMAC, Bobby, me, Anthony, Dixon, Danny.
Oh, it's hard to say.
I'm telling you, I'm not ever going to bet against myself. I'm not saying that that's a smart bet right now, considering the amount of disc golf that I haven't played, but I am going to hop in Anthony's backpack, and he's going to carry us to victory and tacos.
Also, Robert plays way better coming off of a few months off.
That's true. When in practice, okay. When out of practice, we're ready.
Also, what day is this? Is this pre-baby Robert or post-baby Robert?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because post-baby Robert, me and Dixon got it.
Yeah.
Me and Dixon taking it down.
Yeah,
because Robert's going to have 0 sleep.
Yeah, that's correct.
But I don't know. Do we count out EMAC and Bobby?
No, you can't count out EMAC and Bobby. It's just...
How do you count out a world champion?
No, you're right.
And then Eric.
All right, Bobby wins this one. Good questions. I think that would be a really fun match. I think, honestly, the team that has the best shot at winning is Dixon and Danny, because they have, like, their collective ratings together are higher than everybody else's. But Anthony and I are talking the most trash easily. 100% guaranteed.
And who knows if we'll be able to throw straight if we're super mad for getting roasted.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we're in the quick chat just saying, wow. Nice.
Calculate.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying.
Basically, I would just be taking everyone's order as Eric plays that.
That is correct. And putting. So
when I'm imagining those taco hard shells sideways, we are good to go.
you just put them right next to each other.
All right. This one is from Alan about ratings. I'm new to disc golf basically since COVID-19 and am absolutely obsessed.
Welcome.
Welcome to the fold. So much that I already have a PDJ number and am registered for my first C-tier tournament as a novice. Wow, way to go, Alan. As this is my first tournament or sanctioned PDJ event, I have no current rating. How would one calculate an educated guesstimation on what my rating would be? My rounds I play are around from +5 to +10. Some are under that and some are over, but I believe to be my average. What do you think? Big thanks to you guys, and especially Danny. I'm always listening to Danny help me with my form, gain distance, and control. My furthest throw is probably around 250 to 300. Accuracy can be questionable, but I'm getting better. I'm soon going to send a form video to him to analyze.
Awesome.
So what do we think about what's a good guesstimation on his rating?
You want to take this one?
I mean, I'll give it a shot. First of all, I'm still crying from the thought of quick chat, but while playing. Like Anthony just messaged me, what a save. Anyway, yes. If you know Rocket League, you know. Anyway, it's tough to say for sure because +5 to +10 on a course like Jones East is much different than +5 to +10 on a course like Hammond. So without knowing the type of course that you play, it's tough to say for sure. If you say that your max distance is 300 feet, I really am crying. And you're normally between 250 to 300. I would say you're probably going to be in like the lowish to, kind of lowish 800 range, probably 810, 830, somewhere in there. It depends on how accurate you are. But if I had to guess, I'd probably put you in that range.
If you want to find out for sure, go find a tournament on the PDGA website that was recently played at the course that you play the most often, and see what the scores they shot there, which will be total number score, and you can see what the ratings are and know that usually around 10 rating points is one stroke. So if a 5 down is like 800 rated and you shoot, or 5 over is 800 rated and you shoot 10 over, you probably shot about a 750 rated round or something like that. So that's the closest way to get like a guesstimate. But that's also not playing under tournament pressure and playing in the tournament atmosphere.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, we got time for one last question. This one's from Eric. Starter discs for my wife. What's up, Disc Golf fam? Disc Golf Answer fam. Fam. My wife has recently shown some interest in disc golf and wants to come out with me more. Dude, you found a keeper for sure.
No girls allowed on the course, though.
Wow. Danny's out.
There's a sign.
You hate to see
it. Is this Little Rascals? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
That's just on the first tee.
Correct.
No. Welcome to the sport.
She's been playing out of my bag and pretty much only throwing a tersus and a judge with the occasional witness thrown in, though it's too much disc, but she wants to throw a driver. I was wondering what a good starter set of trilogy discs would be for a female beginner. Tough to find lighter mid-ranges and drivers for trilogy. Thank you guys as always. A witness is too much of a disc. Wow.
Probably too heavy.
Yeah.
So you'd probably want to look at the
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah, the Latitude easy to throw group of discs, I think would be a great place to start. That's the Diamond, especially make sure that you don't get one of the heavier ones. Diamond, the Pearl is the mid-range. It's very understable. And then Ruby's the putter.
Okay, yeah.
And I think those would be great ones to start with, especially just so that she'll kind of get the hang of what a disc is supposed to fly like. Diamond is going to be a good step up from the Tersus, less disc than a Witness. Yeah, good one to start with.
Another one is the Latitude 64 Jade. I find that a lot of beginners.
A little bit more stable than the Diamond.
Yeah, they like the Jade. Now on our side, a Breakout, yeah?
Breakout's pretty stable for... If the Witness is too much disc, I think the Breakout would probably also be too much disc.
Oh, okay.
It's lighter, but it's more stable, so it kind of flies the similar line.
Correct. But the Proof kind of falls in line with the Pearl, both very understable. And then the Gavel is our easy to throw putter, and I think that's good as well. Either one of that or the Ruby would be.
Now, we don't specifically have... Do we specifically have that as a starter set?
No, not right now.
No. Okay. So make sure you write that down to grab her a Diamond, a Ruby, and a Pearl. I don't know that we have those as a set. So don't go on our site searching for starter set. Rather search for those specific names of discs. And hopefully she'll stick with it and she'll have a great time playing some disc golf. And you guys spend some time outside enjoying the weather and enjoying disc golf.
Can I ask you a quick question? I'm looking at this and I haven't seen those at all. Do you have?
This is true.
Yeah, we should probably get to those.
Yeah. All right. All right, here we go. Oh, this is a hot take.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I think that a professional match play major with the top 16 rated pros would be better than a traditional major during the season. How cool would it be to literally watch matchups like Paul versus Ricky, Eagle versus Calvin, Simon versus Emerson, Bobby versus anyone? Oh, I may have thrown that.
They're
one
all
in.
going to lose.
Yeah, I think this would add an awesome twist during the pro season to change up the regular tournament field. Thoughts? My first thought is we tried it.
Well, this has been a major. This has been a big event before. It was called the Players Cup.
Yes.
Held down in Florida primarily, and then moved to Austin a little while after that. Matchplay is one of my favorite things to watch and play in. I would love to see a Matchplay major. That's something that, yeah, like we said, we
tried it, and I sound more sarcastic than I should, but yeah, we did try it. There were some logistics that just did not seem to work itself out for allow us to do that. But yeah, it would be exciting to do.
I think it's possible in the future, though.
Yeah,
it's possible. What were we gonna say?
It'd be sick.
Oh yeah, Matchplay is the best because anyone can beat anyone. I watched a Texas freaking legend, take Macbeth to 18 holes at Matchplay. And like, look, Nolan's a great player. His name's Nolan Greider. If you've never heard of him and you've been in Texas, what have you been doing?
Yeah.
Incredible player. He's not really on Macbeth's level, but he can just pop off, and he did that day. And man, it was just a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah. Matchplay is really exciting. Like every stroke matters.
Yes.
And like how close you are compared to your opponent to the basket, like actually has like repercussions and stuff.
Yes.
It's fun.
The Matchplay events that I've done in disc golf have been some of my favorite things to do. I'm currently doing the first Matchplay thing that I've done at our golf course, and I'm in the finals of it.
Hey, sick.
It's freaking sweet.
Congrats.
So yeah, I love it. It's fun.
So there was a question about disc golf on CBS. I'm not seeing that I can find it. So, but I'm assuming he's asking if disc golf will appear in the future now that we've had disc golf on CBS.
Right. And I mean, the answer to that is we're always working on something.
Right.
We'd love to say yes. We're ready to go right now. We've got a new event for that, but I would say that that's something that's being discussed, and it's something that we're certainly interested in.
As far as the coverage that was on CBS, that'll be coming up relatively soon on Jomez, right?
Yeah, the Jomez edit of it.
Yes.
That's right.
All right, and so if just real quick on the tail end of Disc Golf Answer Man, we're going to give you a little taste of the hot take. We're going to take TJ's hot take here, a non-disc golf hot take. If you want to take, that's not one that you had, is it?
No, I like it.
Oh, okay. So just to give you a taste of, if you do not subscribe to us and you don't listen to hot takes, this will give you a little bit of a taste of hot takes. We're going to take TJ's here. He says,
hot cake, hot take.
Hot cake, hot take.
It works out great.
I believe one large pancake is better than 4 to 5 smaller pancakes of the same total volume.
Yep, 100%.
My top argument is that the others don't cool while I cook the next one. If you're using a griddle, then those aren't pancakes.
Easy yes for me here, TJ.
Yeah.
No way.
100%.
How is it no way?
Give me one solid pancake, uniform warmth. That's all you need. I'm saying I'm with you on this. One pancake, that's a winner.
The
for
middle
me.
gets too thick. The middle is too thick. It's never going to cook.
Then you
evenly
don't know
all
how to
the way
cook.
through.
Then you don't know how to cook.
It's just a lot harder. So for consistency, I do the little ones.
Then you're
Also,
a bad flipper.
If you've never just had cold pancakes,
Don't.
they're delicious.
Why would you have cold pancakes?
We used to go visit my grandmother, and then she would bag up all the extra pancakes in like a little Ziploc bag, and 5-year-old me in the back seat would just hammer them on the way home. Just
Yeah, 5-year-old undisciplined you would do that because you're supposed to wait till you get home and warm them up.
No, 25-year-old me would still do that. Cold pancakes are the bomb,
I'm
and I will
saying
die.
pancakes were intended to be warm.
They were, yes, but they're also good cold.
Anyway, that's an example of what you can get if you listen to
The absurdity.
disc golf
hot takes.
Disc golf hot takes.
Disc Golf Hot Takes. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for Disc Golf Answer Man. We appreciate you. Keep sending in those questions. DiscGolfAnswerman.com. We'll get them on the air, and we'll see you on the next episode.
I think we need a jingle.
We're working on it.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum.
That's McDonald's.
Nope. Well,
No, that's ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh.
Dimitris Arapis comes at us with €5. Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you for the €5. He said, hello, disc golf family. I'm a new player from Greece. Wanted to say a big thank you for what you're doing for disc golf. Have you been here? I have not been to Greece yet.
Love to go to Greece.
Yeah, same here. The only places that I've been in Europe were England and Scotland. I believe that's it.
and Finland.
Oh yeah, sorry. Finland and Sweden. Yeah.
What did you go to England and Scotland for?
I was in, it was our senior trip when I was a senior in high school. So we went over and looked at the locks in Scotland.
Wow.
And then toured London and it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've never been to Europe, but it looks amazing, and I've played a lot on the map of Ilios in Overwatch. So
It's very Greek. Dude, I would get down on some tzatziki, Demetrius. That'd be awesome. Do I have time to go get a Dr. Pepper? Because I'm about to it's about to get real on hot takes, and I would like to be properly hydrated.
Go for it.
Thank you.
I would also like to run to the bathroom if that's okay.
No. Only Dr. Pepper breaks.
I mean, I have a bottle here. Just cut the cameras real quick.
All right, so I guess it's just me on the YouTubes. Hopefully everybody stays tuned.
Okay.
always wanted.
I'm going to go to the bathroom too then, Bobby. I'm out.
Oh, it really is going to be just me. All right, so let's see. What else we got going on? So like I was saying earlier, we have, if you just tune in, we have U.S. Amateur Match Play Championships happening this weekend. So going to be some disc golf happening here in Emporia. Me and Anthony are going to be covering that so that we can post that on social media and you can kind of know what's going on there. Anybody watch the U.S. Open? Do you watch any of that? Any of the tennis match? I don't know what. For some reason now, I mean, when big events like the Open are on or anything like that, I watch bits and pieces of it. But ever since playing pickleball, for some reason, it feels a little more exciting to watch something like tennis. I guess because I'm watching him do certain shots, and I'm thinking I could.
Are the rules pretty similar?
As far as
Like between pickleball and tennis? Is it?
very similar.
Okay, yeah, 'cause-
Now, of course, in pickleball, we very rarely play singles pickleball. We play mostly doubles. But yeah,
Timing.
other than the scoring, the scoring's a little different. And then as far as like sets and matches and stuff like that's different. But as far as like some of the skills, like one they were playing doubles and one of the ladies was saying, and it kind of made me think, is like she says, create space and then fill that space.
Talking about pickleball?
No, well, translating some tennis techniques to pickleball.
Yeah.
So in other words, she was saying that this one girl, what she was doing was she was literally like creating space, and then her mindset was, I'm going to create a space for you to try to hit the ball, but I'm going to occupy that space just as fast as I created it, so that I'm there to hit it. And then there were some of the plays where she broke it down and showed, and I was like, that is amazing.
Yes.
I mean, it's just really cool. It was just really cool.
There's so much more cerebral about tennis than non-tennis players will ever understand.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense to me. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Right. And nor would I have unless someone had been like, hey, you know what? Here's a good idea.
Right. And so stuff like that was amazing. And then the men's final, how the commentators were breaking down what the plays he was doing. It was like 4 hits. They're trying to get the person where they want and then send it down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
Dude, what a final, by the way.
Oh, that was
Zverev
amazing.
and team was super
was
fun
awesome.
to watch. Same with Azarenka and Naomi Osaka.
Yes.
Both of those are awesome finals.
I went down a rabbit hole the other day about like the same thing with baseball.
Oh, nice.
Like pitchers and
Nice.
batters of like, where's he going to throw? What's he going to throw? Is he going to throw a curveball high? Is it going to be a curveball low? Does this batter like curveballs to the left side of the plate or the right? Oh, I went down. Yeah, I went on a rabbit hole. It was fascinating. I watch about 2 baseball games a year, but it was awesome.
And that's kind of what, and to bring that full circle to disc golf, it makes me think about some of these questions we get in where people ask about the mental game and the how do I get rid of the jitters of when I play a tournament. You have to understand that the tournament, your tournament play is a result of all the practice that you put in. And you have to understand that if you're someone that works a full-time job and you've got a family and stuff like that, the mental part, that part's going to be a big deal because you're not in it and you're not doing it and you're not strategizing like these top pros are.
You're not being tested like that.
Yeah. So a lot of times when people say, how do I get over the mental parts? Well, you got to play more.
Yep.
Because you got to get your body used to it. You got to get your mind used to these situations, whether it's like a really good situation or a bad situation. You've got to figure out how, just like Osaka, just the way she was down going into it and then just kept going and pushed and ended up winning. I mean, it's just amazing.
I will say as an amendment to what you just said. So experience playing on a lead card, there's no substitute for that. But you could play on lead cards all the time and still do terribly if you don't work on your mental game as often as you should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to help you naturally get better at it, but if you're not intentional, you're going to suck.
Real quick.
Facts.
Ilios is in Greece, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I had a panic.
Yeah.
Wait, do I sound like an idiot? Answer is yes, but for other reasons.
And then another thing that I thought was interesting. Now, this is like silly to get words of wisdom from a show, but I've been watching the show on Apple Plus called Ted Lasso.
Okay.
With Jason
Bateman?
Sudeikis. And there was a part where the one of the bright star soccer players wasn't going to go practice, and he's like, just practice. Or
We talking about practice?
yeah.
Not a game.
But it was just, he came down on him and he was like, the game is only so many points. The game is only so long, but the practice that is where things happen.
Yep, it's true.
So anyway, sorry to go down.
Dude, are y'all ready to get your hot take on?
I'm ready. All right.
I'm excited for today.
I think that the person that takes the hot takes has to do the intro.
Good. Sounds great.
That was a strong Dr. Pepper.
No kidding. All right, so go ahead and hit record, and we'll let Robert do.
Oh, we've been recording.
Oh,
We got all that.
Wait, are we recording?
wait, but are we recording?
Okay. Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes. Today, we're going to talk about a topic in disc golf that might be controversial. The opinions that you hear today may or may not represent those of the people on the show or Dynamic Discs or anyone with any sanity. But we're here to argue, and we're going to argue about disc golf.
Or anyone shopping at Target?
No.
Oh, no?
I'm doing the intro,
sorry.
Bobby. I had literally nailed it, and then you said some. Okay, whatever. Okay.
All right.
I'm back in control.
Okay.
Are you ready for today's disc golf hot take?
I'm ready.
Okay. Today with me, I have Bobby. I have Danny.
Hello.
And then off camera, I have Anthony.
Hello.
And I'm excited to see who is on my side for this hot take.
Not it.
And who is wrong.
Robert.
Okay. Are you ready? Did you guys all see Kevin Jones' ace at MVP?
6.
At Maple Hill. Hole 16, 530 something feet downhill. He slips on the tee box. Looks like he freaking broke his leg.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Rings it up. Gets shared on Sports Center, at least on their Instagram and all that. Here's today's hot take. Kevin Jones' ace is not only the best ace that's ever been captured on film, it's the best ace that's ever happened in disc golf. I'm going to tell you why. One, aces over 500 feet are extremely rare. We just don't have them that often. I know that Danny has one. They just don't happen that often. So by itself, quite a feat. But the second part that makes it so impressive is the gap that you have to hit to get down to this basket is so narrow. In fact, on the first day of competition, this hole, spoiler alert if you haven't watched MVP Open Cup, it's stupid that I have to say that, but whatever.
Talk about it.
Here's another hot take. Spoiler. Anyway, only 5 of the MPO players in a stacked MPO field got inside circle 1 in regulation. 5 during the first round on a hole that Kevin aced. Okay. Number 3, what makes it so impressive? His commitment to the shot was so strong that even though he slipped and looked like he hurt himself, he committed to getting the disc where he wanted to, and he threw it 100% perfectly. It is not only the best ace ever on film, it is the best ace that's ever happened in disc golf, period.
What are the other options?
Any ace.
I would
Any
have
ace.
to say, based on the qualifying criteria you
ace.
gave, I see what you're saying. However, the one that if another criteria were to put into, and I would say the impact on the game would be Ricky Wysocki's ace on.
Well, Nate Doss's at Memorial was the first one on
Yeah.
ESPN. So if you're trying to have an impact,
I think the impact is when Ricky got the ace and won the event. What was
Utah?
it?
he was already
He was
in the
already up
lead.
by 1.
He was going to win that event.
Yeah.
Almost.
It was a walk-off ace, so he won by 2 instead of birdieing it.
Oh, then never mind.
He was.
If you want a
I
big,
thought that was
big
the winning
impact,
ace.
would be Nate Doss at Memorial.
Then I would then I would say the impact would be the first one that was on ESPN, and that would be Nate Doss.
I'm trying to think of another like super.
Eric
sick
has
ace.
it. Eric has it in the chat.
What do you say?
Greg Barsby's roller ace on hole 4 at De La. It's not, as far as I'm aware, not caught on camera.
Yeah.
100% better ace.
Yes, but
Kevin Jones is firmly in second place.
Okay.
It's those two are in a runaway.
Okay.
What
It's
is your
between
argument
those
again?
two.
Okay, so my argument for this one is, one, it's a long hole, 530 feet or whatever.
How long is the?
I think Barsby's roller ace is right around 400 feet at De La. It's like hole 4.
I'll look it up. Yeah, it's hole 4.
Yeah, hole 4 at De La. Number 2, the gap that you have to hit in order to get to the basket at Maple Hill is super tight and has many trees that will knock your disc asunder. And only 5 players on the first round of competition got inside circle 1, let alone made it in the basket. And then number 3, Kevin's commitment was so strong that even when he slipped, he committed to getting the disc online that got it into the basket. Those are my criteria.
What is your thesis, though? Like, it's the best ace because the best ace
because of those things.
No, it's the best ace for growing the sport. For
It's the best ace that's ever happened in disc golf.
In other words, if I had only one ace story to tell, you're telling me that's the ace story.
That's the one I'm
telling.
picking 100% of the time.
okay, but counterpoint, it's downhill. How far does the hole play?
I mean, it probably plays closer to 470.
I mean, for the guys on tour, that's a lot more reasonable.
Right, but low ceiling through a gap, 470, that most people don't even get to the basket, let alone chain high.
Also, it's a ace runnable hole. It's not like there was a lot of risk into it because it's downhill and it has the ground past. If he had missed the basket, he would have only been like 20, 25 feet long. So it's a shot that, like, he wasn't taking a risk to take the shot.
Okay, so then,
like Nate Doss
And
was at
I
Memorial.
would disagree with the he committed. He just fell.
no, but he committed to the shot.
But it's not like he was falling and then thought, "Oh gosh, I better make a correction."
You
to
don't know
commit
what was
to this
going
shot.
on in his mind.
I think it was. No, I know it was going. He was like, "Holy!" And he was falling.
Yeah, that's probably true. When you put it that way, that's true. Okay, but let's talk about it for a second, because how many times have you seen someone slip on a tee box and throw the worst shot of their life? Nearly every time someone slips on the tee box.
I don't slip and fall, and I throw the worst shot of my own.
You fall a lot.
A lot. It's true. Pickleball.
For someone who shouldn't be falling on. Anyway, go ahead, Anthony.
How many times do you see someone throw a roller and it's a terrible shot?
Yeah.
How many times do you see someone throw a roller and it's a good shot? And then how many times do you see someone throw a roller and then it goes in the basket?
Okay.
You're literally asking the disc to go from a level that's low.
I hear you.
An
That's-
unnatural
Yeah.
up.
I hear you, and that's
when has
great.
someone rolled a basketball and then gotten 3 points for that?
Okay, there are not sticks on a basketball court
There's feet.
that could make the ball hop up. And
There's a bunch of feet.
if it hit somebody's foot, then they
bunch
would
of
call a
feet.
violation. It wouldn't count. Anyway, here's why I think that Kevin's ace is better than Greg's in particular. And by the way, utmost respect for Greg. He's one of my favorite people out there. And that ace is 100% incredible. This is not to discredit
not
that
what
at
he
all.
said before we started.
That's right. Off air, I was like, Greg is so mean. He's never been nice to me. Okay. Here's the reason that Kevin's shot is better. Is Kevin's shot, he picked the gap, he threw it where it wanted to, and it stayed the height it needed to get there. Greg's required some luck as far as bounces on the ground go. Now,
Because Kevin aced it during tournament play too, right?
no, but he aced it during practice, but a filmed practice round, one shot. One shot. One. Mm-hmm. Not like throwing multiples off the box. And I'm not saying that Greg did that either, because it wasn't a tournament. But what I'm saying is Kevin's has a little bit more skill attached to it, because like you got to lay that roller down well, but after that, it's kind of out of your hands. With a shot like,
Yeah, on a low ceiling, blind uphill, turning left.
like I
to
said,
right
it's out of
shot.
your hands, and it required some assistance from a stick or something like it to get into the basket. A straight I think even if there was video of Greg's ace, I would take Kevin's ace, because it was pure. It split the gap down the middle all the way.
Let me make this point. The amazing effect, or the awe effect, of the Barsby versus KJ, I would take Barsby because of that, of the physics of it. In other words, Kevin Jones obviously meant to, everyone throws the disc meaning, well, I would imagine, meaning to either get as close to the basket as possible or get it in the basket, right?
Right.
Whereas a roller, you're just you're not thinking, I'm going to roll it into the basket. You're thinking, I'm going to roll it and get it as close as possible.
Right.
So in that, for it to jump up and go into the basket makes it more amazing.
No, that's why I'm saying that the exact reason that you just said is why Kevin's is better, because there's intent to get, like, you can see the gap, you see what you're trying to accomplish to get as close as possible, hopefully in the air. Barsby's Barsby's goal is to lay the disc down at a good angle, not to make it in the basket. He's trying to get close. He got
it's amazing
fortunate
that
to
it got
get in
into
the
the basket.
That's like saying Kevin's goal is to throw the disc at this angle. Like, yeah, of course that's his goal. He's doing that because he knows the disc is going to hit at this angle, roll at this angle, finish at this angle, hopefully close to the basket. Just like Kevin is saying, if I throw it on this much hyzer, it's going to stand up and turn this much.
But there's more chance in Barsby's. Like more incredible
100%.
that Greg's went in the basket off a roller. Yes, more incredible. That's true. But better ace overall. I'm taking Kevin.
There's more chance for Barsby's to not go in.
Also, Kevin fell down.
Kevin did fall down.
Danny's on my
Makes
side.
it a lot harder.
How does it make it harder?
He slipped on the 4x4. It was a foot fault. Shouldn't even count anyways.
No, it wasn't a 4x4.
Okay, compare
The probability
Kevin's ace.
harder? Is that what you mean?
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Compare Kevin's ace to either Nico or Philo's albatross. Which is better?
Kevin's ace.
I'll take Kevin's
Better
ace.
by what standard? Like what is the
Just a better shot, cooler video, cooler.
Kevin's ace.
I'm taking Kevin's ace, though. Philo's albatross. That hole, as far as I understand it, was a par 4 in past years.
It's like a 4 and 2/3.
They made it into a
It
par
goes
5.
back and forth,
That's
yeah.
once again taking nothing away from that shot because it's incredible, and I could never throw it, and most people could never
Yeah,
throw
it's
it.
a smash.
Yeah, it's incredible. Same goes for Nico's albatross. Huge tee shot, crushed tee shot. But you have to land in that spot to open that angle for yourself. Every person throws from the spot that Kevin threw from. Nobody ever aces it. He freaking rung it up while falling down, and the video of it, I think that's what makes it so incredible. It just dissected the gap all the way down. It was like it
was
had
the perfect
It
shot.
was like it had no other place to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like Paul's shot, the final round, was way short, a little left.
Got that
hits a
skip.
rock, skips. and
Still a
puts.
great shot.
Yeah.
Awesome shot.
If that goes in, it's like, wow, he got so lucky. That's crazy. But Kevin's was just pure.
Yes.
All air.
Pure.
Yeah, I take Kevin's over either albatross.
Yep.
And then Barsby over that.
Pure. All right. Whatever.
You take an eagle over an albatross.
I'm taking an ace over an albatross. I'm taking a 1 over a 2.
Wow.
Yeah. Now the albatrosses are more rare, of course.
Sure.
That's true.
Makes them better.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
I think
Absolutely.
it does.
why does rarity make it more better?
Because it's harder to get.
better.
It's harder to get. Most.
So what?
I would okay, maybe not most people who people who are like hardcore into the sport and have been for a while. A majority of those people, I would say, have an ace. Very few people have an albatross.
What would you say is more?
I'm not saying an ace. I'm saying this ace. Like I'm not taking like I aced hole 2 at Hammond. It's the only one I have here in town because I suck.
Did you slip and fall?
No, I had full control of my body.
Not even cool.
But I'm not taking that ace over an albatross, but I'm taking Kevin's ace over an albatross. Heck yeah, I am. Freaking sick.
If you want to, I'm going to ask you, Danny, what do you think is more rare, an albatross or a roller ace?
Roller ace, 100%. But I still think
All y'all are wrong.
okay. Compare all of these
guys are
to a
stupid.
555-foot ace on hole 8 at Country Club.
Has anybody
They're-
broken down?
Sounds like a
They're all
tailwind.
above that.
Has anybody broken down the video? Does he slip and fall after the disc is released,
Yes.
or as the disc is
would have to.
releasing?
As the disc is releasing.
Are you?
I'm telling you, it's an incredible shot.
100% sure.
Even if he doesn't fall, it's an incredible shot.
It's an incredible
I
shot.
know. I just want to. For my
Bobby, I don't
sake,
think you're understanding. It's an incredible shot.
for my understanding, I want to know if he
Yeah, he fell,
fell.
and then the disc went in.
No, but at what point? In other words, was he falling as he was releasing the disc, or did the disc come out of his hand, and so the throw had already been made, and then he fell?
I'm guessing it was kind of simultaneous.
Yeah, because usually as you're throwing, your weight is really shifting into your foot
Yeah.
sideways, and the weight shifting is what caused the disc to slip out of his hand, or is what caused him to fall. So simultaneously with the disc
Yeah.
releasing.
What caused him to fall is also what caused him to throw the disc.
yeah.
That's a fair, but I'd like to see the video. So has someone watched it? Okay, someone says as the disc is releasing, he slipped on the wet 4x4. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was just curious. All right, well, I think we've successfully argued this. I'm not sure. What do we got?
Yeah, don't-
50-50? Danny? Barsby versus Kevin Jones.
I was just arguing for the sake of argument.
What is your real...
Kevin's is way better, yeah.
Robert, obviously Kevin.
Kevin.
Anthony?
Barsby, 100%.
Bobby? Barsby? 2 and 2.
McCabe in the chat said Barsby 100%.
And he's
we
playing
win.
both
3-2.
That's 2 world champions on the side of bars.
That's right. I had forgotten that we already had
3
one.
if we want to count Greg.
That's right.
All right, guys. Thanks
Super
for
good
tuning
point.
into the Disc Golf Hot Takes. We'll see you on the next one.
Robert doesn't get to do his own outro too.
Nope.
Oh, got him.
What the heck? Also, don't screw up my intro. I crushed it.
Do we have a,
First time ever.
are we doing a non-disc golf hot take?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
And you got that one, right?
I do have that one too. Okay. Also, just so we're on the same page, I'm not sure that Kevin's is actually the best ace of all time. I felt like it would be a good thing to argue for sure.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But that roller ace is just stupid.
Yeah.
It's unfathomable.
Like,
the disc was on the ground.
To get a roller ace, and if it was like eagle on hole 9 at Hammond, it's like, oh, that's crazy. But like, okay, it's like a 200-foot hole. Sure, that's pretty cool. But that is like a freaking hard hole.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just, the stars aligned perfectly. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, but also let's talk about this for a second. A legit albatross, so much more rare than an ace. I'd rather have an albatross.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
All right, ready?
It just didn't help my case in this one.
All right, take
At the time.
the non-disc golf.
Right.
Ready?
Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes bonus footage. During this
Bonus footage.
No, Bobby, this is my intro.
He explicitly said not to ruin the intro.
I knew it was
looked at
coming.
me.
I
You
knew,
looked
no,
at me like he
no,
was ready for
no. I was looking to see if you were going to ruin it, and you did. This is where we have a hot take about something not disc golf related, although today's is moderately disc golf related, depending on how you look at it. Are we ready?
Yes.
If you didn't listen to the disc golf hot take, today we have Bobby, Danny, and Anthony on the mic.
I will be looking at it with my eyes closed. Thank you very much.
Yes, perfect. Okay. If given the choice between getting rid of watching any niche sport, and by niche sport, I mean something smaller than our major sports like baseball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, maybe those fit in there. If given the choice between getting rid of watching all niche sports or any major sport, I will get rid of watching major sports for the rest of my life in favor of watching niche sports. Here's the reason. So, go ahead.
Is it all so like the 5 majors?
Yeah.
And then everything else? Okay.
Yeah. So for the sake of argument, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, hockey. Let's say that that's it for now.
Okay.
I will never watch any of those for the rest of my life in favor of being able to watch any niche sport that I want to afterwards. Here's my reasoning. Those sports have huge budgets, incredible production value. That's awesome. But the athletes that play those are the least relatable people on the planet, not because of anything that they've necessarily done, like not because of their personality or anything, but most of them are physical freaks of nature who none of us will ever be like or play like.
Speak for yourself.
That's a fair point. But if I watch more of a niche sport, if I watch a smaller sport, I can think, hey, that person is doing something incredibly well. Also, man, maybe I could do that. That's why I like to watch niche sports so much. That's why I would give up watching major sports ever again to watch niche sports if given the option, or if forced to make a choice.
I will take this as well. I would.
Man.
I hardly ever watch big sports. I mainly watch the niche sports.
That's not as helpful because you don't actually watch them most of the time. I do sometimes.
But I currently don't watch any major sports and do watch niche sports. So I'm basically doing the thing that you're talking
Yeah, but
about.
that's what I'm saying. Like you're not invested in major sports. I would say I'm moderately invested.
I will shut up then?
No, I appreciate you having on my side, but since you're already living it, it's not a difficult decision for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you, but you're discredited. You're,
Right,
you're
yes.
free to go, Danny.
Hey, if you close your eyes through the whole presentation, that's what you get.
I was
That's what you
looking
get.
at it. I don't remember what I was doing.
That's what you get.
You had your eyes closed. That's what you were doing.
That's what you
No,
get.
it's so I could listen better. I was sensory deprivation.
Okay. That's where I'm at.
Okay, let me make sure I understand this right.
Yeah. Okay.
So instead of watching football, soccer, golf, all that, you would much rather watch like cornhole tossing,
Yes.
pickleball,
Yep.
Bowling.
and like that.
Correct. Yes.
Would any
And you can't ever watch major sports. But then
this
the
would be a
opposite is
choice
true.
you make, right? This wouldn't be an industry like this. Wouldn't
No, it's either
global,
or.
right? But it
It's
wouldn't
an either or.
globally affect everybody in the world,
Right. It's
It
just,
would or wouldn't?
It would not.
Just you as a person would make this
You
choice.
are forced to make a choice between watching 5 major
So
sports.
the major sports would still be happening. You would just not be watching them.
You could never watch them. But then the opposite is true too. If you choose the 5 major sports, you don't get to watch the niche sports ever.
Does that include disc golf?
Yes,
So you can't watch disc golf if you watch football.
that's correct.
I would say in this world, yes. I would say, yeah, I would turn off major sports just because of that fact. Because I play pickleball, so I love watching pickleball. And actually, I was mentioning before we started recording that pickleball has actually made tennis more interesting for me to watch, just
sure.
because of the way the play plays out.
That's how it was for me for even before I ever played golf. That was me with disc golf and golf, just trying to understand what's going through someone's mind as they're trying to do something in the fewest shots or strokes possible.
Right.
Just made it more interesting to me.
And obviously disc golf because I enjoy watching disc golf.
Sure.
So yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Okay.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I really don't. I watch a ton of niche sports, disc golf.
Of course.
Like if there's mountain biking on or something, like I will watch that all day. But I think like this Sunday was heaven for Anthony.
Okay.
Wake up in the morning, watch football, go to sleep at night. Fantastic way to spend it.
That's a good sign.
I love watching football. I like watching hockey. I like watching soccer. I could get into baseball. I've been into baseball. I think, yeah, if it's like for the rest of my life thing, I think I would keep the 5 major sports because I've been invested in those and I will be invested in those. You know, I like disc golf. I've liked disc golf for a long time, but like badminton, I could spend an afternoon watching badminton. I don't know if I could spend the rest of my life watching badminton or bowling or something like that, you know, lawn darts or whatever. Like I could watch that stuff and have a blast.
Yeah.
But I think if it's forever, I think I'm going to keep the 5. Cause I'm already so ingrained in that. I know like I'm going to grow old watching football, watching soccer, watching hockey. Like, yeah.
Right.
I think I would have to keep, and you said at the beginning that the athletes are more, or they're less relatable.
Right.
I almost think that's why.
Okay.
Because if I wanted to watch someone play disc golf, like I can go and play disc golf. It's not going to look like Paul or Ricky or Eagle or whatever, but like, you know, to the untrained eye, it'll be close. But I'm not going to go kick 50-yard field goals. I could put on a pair of ice skates and hurt myself. I'm not going to play hockey. I'm just going to break an ankle.
Sure.
That's a fair argument.
I think as a form of entertainment, I think I want it to be almost not inhuman, but like as superhero as possible. I want to see someone jump from the free throw line and dunk. I can make a layup. It's not going to look like LeBron, but LeBron can do things that I'll never see other people do. You know, Tiger Woods can do things that other people can't do. So I think as a form of entertainment, I'm keeping the 5 major sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the sacrifice is too big for what you get, right? Sacrificing so many. I mean, because I play disc golf. If I didn't play disc golf, then maybe more towards the major sports. But I mean, are Olympics included?
Ooh, that's a really good question because I would watch Olympics over both categories.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
If it wasn't every 4 years or every 2 years,
If for me Olympics were on as frequently as the NFL,
100%.
that's all I would ever watch.
Oh yeah,
Ever.
sign me up.
Along the same lines, there was a, I think the Olympics, I think it was a shower thought that I saw one time.
Yes.
Olympics would be much more entertaining if rather than having each country's best, it was each country's average.
Nice.
Like you just pick average people from that country and then have them go like do the long jump and you really get to see how good each country is at everything.
Yes.
Not how much money they can invest into the athletes. I want to see that.
Dude, I'd be all about that for
There
sure.
was one of my best friends growing up. His dad was all for the idea of in any major sport or professional sport, there has to be a limit of just like average Joes. You know, you go to the Olympics, you've got Usain Bolt, and then in lane 2, you've got Robert McCall. You know, and just,
First of all,
just lend some context here. You've got Dale Earnhardt Jr. in whatever car he drives, and then there's me in the car next to him.
Nice.
Like just some average, just for some comparison, just to contrast it and see, you know, like you said, everybody's like a superhero. Like, how much of a superhero is it? Let's find out.
I
Let's
can
see what
tell you
happens.
pretty confidently, you would not make it a lap around the track.
Oh, I couldn't a passenger seat. But
Like my brother has a racing sim, like a force feedback wheel. It goes on iRacing, which is they laser scan the tracks. It's a super realistic racing sim. I can't make it around the track, and I've tried extensively. So that was probably a safety thing.
Yeah.
But
oh, well, yeah, it's a very super.
now put you there in your whatever Chevy Cobalt or whatever you have. That'd be entertaining.
I'm not going to make it around the track because they're going to hit me.
Okay, slight diversion to go along with that. I would love to, for all sports, niche and or major, I would love to have something like that. Because this is the same thing I see when people are in chats watching disc golf, be like, "Well, what a bad shot by Macbeth," or even worse, like, "What a bad shot by like Paige Pierce or Kristen Tatar," somebody like that.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to be kidding me! You go throw that shot at that course under that
It
pressure.
might be a bad shot for her.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell me you've got that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love the Joe's part of that, like the average Joe's getting to participate alongside the pros.
I mean, along those lines, it's easy to watch coverage and see someone play a hole maybe that you've played in the past or something, and you're like, I could do that, right? Like a 350-foot hyzer, I could do that. But could you do that every time?
Yes.
And also at that time? That's where the difference comes in.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can imagine myself doing a 350-foot hyzer, but I could also imagine myself yanking it straight right.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the reasons that I like niche sports is because it feels like, and I don't think this is actually true, but this is the feel that you get when playing them. It feels like you could get closer to a professional level, or like somebody close the gap between you and a, top cornhole thrower or pickleball player than you could between you and a professional football player or basketball player. And for me, that makes me respect what those top professionals are doing even more. Like for me, football is impressive, but I've never really played football. I would have loved to, but like I didn't. Our school didn't have it, and so I don't know how difficult it is to run over the middle with fear that you're going to get just smoked by a couple linebackers. I watch people do it and they're awesome at it, but I don't know what that's like. But I do know what it's like to be playing pickleball and get smoked in the head with the ball because your paddle wasn't up. And it makes it even more impressive when you watch people just like take that in stride. So I think that for me is why I like niche sports just a little bit more to view regularly, because it feels like you could get closer to that.
That makes sense.
That's where I'm
That
at.
was a great way to bring it back. We were on a tangent, and Robert just brought it full circle. So I definitely respect that.
Yes. I like Andrew said this would be the control group for professional athletes. Yeah. So that you bring in lots of average Joes and be like, all right, here's your statistics. All right, you professionals, go show them what's up.
Yeah.
I would love to see something like that.
Or champs versus chumps, as Tanner says. It's a very similar concept to that.
Exactly. Yes, dude. I think I'm always shocked. I'm sorry if you've been a chump on one of the videos for what I'm about to say. I'm always shocked at just how poorly the chumps can play in those videos, because like we watch top pros play disc golf all the
Yeah,
time.
it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point, though.
Ian and Corey show up with their cameras. Tens of thousands of people are going to watch this.
Yes.
Paul Macbeth is standing there. Paige Pierce, whoever it is. Good luck.
Also, you
Okay, but that's what I'm talking
Also,
about.
you get one chance.
Yes, and that's why I love it. Like, it's so difficult to play in front of camera. It's so difficult to play under pressure. But those people do it all the time. When you get your shot, armchair quarterback to show up and play, they usually are terrible.
Yes.
I love that.
And when they execute, though, it's hype.
Yes.
Like when the chump makes the big putt.
Yeah, it's like against all odds.
Yes.
You did something worthwhile. Let us celebrate. I like that.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the non-disc golf hot take. Or I'm sorry, what did you call it? The moderately disc golf hot take?
Mostly not disc golf
Mostly
hot
not
take.
disc golf hot take. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, YouTube chat, especially Darby. I like normal professional sports. Sometimes I just say things on here so that we can argue about things. Just so we're on the same page. I definitely watch by volume more niche sports than major ones, but it would be really hard to just be like, I'm never watching football. Like that means you can't watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like 50-50, but I'm more invested in the major sports.
Yeah.
You know,
for
I'll
sure.
just like turn on BMX if I'm bored and it's on.
An argument that I thought about making, but doesn't. I mean, obviously, it's not a very good argument. Would be what about esports?
Yeah, I mean, I
was
think
gonna
that
ask
falls in niche sports, is what I would
You think it does?
Yeah.
I think people wouldn't agree with that because it's. I mean, you're
I think
sitting
in
behind
terms
a
of
computer.
viewership, it's probably not.
No, in
Not
terms
what?
of viewership, it is.
Is a major sport?
No, it's niche sports.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about how many people watched, like how many people were there in person at the international, the last international for Dota. I don't know. 30,000, 40,000, a huge group.
Millions of viewers.
Yeah.
Right. But not like the amount of people that watch the Super Bowl in person.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Do you know what I'm
but
saying?
Sure, but that's the Super Bowl. I mean, if we're talking, does it crack the top 5? Does it?
No,
You don't think it averages better viewerships than
No.
MLB?
never.
Really?
Well, of a regular season game, maybe like the international,
Yeah.
right?
So across the board, I mean,
But that's one event, and it's their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
sure, but what is like? I don't follow the major esports like League or Dota or whatever.
Sure.
But like, what is if they have an event this weekend? What is their viewership like? Is it
On Twitch, like just normal events, they'll be like 150, 200,000, maybe 300,000. But
bet
that's
that's-
100,000.
I bet that's probably better than if the Milwaukee Brewers played the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Maybe.
I bet
I'd be interested to know for
Yeah.
sure.
So if esports are lumped together, if you add League, Dota, everything across the board together, I bet that would crack the top 5. I don't think
Oh.
it's fair to do that. I think you'd have to say
Right.
League of Legends.
That's its own that's its own sport.
That's its own
Chris-
quote unquote sport.
So Syracuse University did a study, and it looks like whoever Activate is, but out of Syracuse University, said that projects that in the United States, esports will have more views than every professional sports league but the NFL by 2021.
Wow.
But is that
That's cumulative.
that's
right?
combined esports.
Yeah, that's not super surprising because that would be like if you said every sport involving a ball. Like, it's just just because it's a video.
They project that there will be 84 million viewers of esports, higher than the 79 million Major League Baseball viewers or the 63 million NBA viewers.
That's crazy.
Chris in chat says he doesn't think that esports is a sport. As far as like having to be athletic to play, I definitely agree. But as far as pushing your body and your mind to the limit and doing it under pressure when it counts and stuff like that, I definitely think so. I mean, it's not the kind of sport where you need to go to the gym and get jacked for, but
Sure.
as far as performing and to the peak of human ability, I definitely think it's a sport.
So the definition of sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. So in that sense,
So by that definition, would you call poker a sport? Because I mean, obviously skill, no doubt about it, but physical. If you have to have both to qualify,
I feel like there's less mechanics in poker.
It's more mental for sure.
yeah.
I mean, there is a
when you
big
say less mechanics, what do you?
I mean, in football, throwing is a mechanic, right?
Oh, okay, I see what you
in
mean.
esports, aiming with your mouse or with your thumbstick or moving around and knowing the combos and having that muscle memory, that's a mechanic.
But have you seen them fidget with their chips?
Okay, good point.
Chip
can't do
shuffling
that.
mechanic. That's
Thing
one.
that doesn't
We're
actually
already
have
one
any
in.
Yeah, it
effect
makes
on the game.
no difference.
That's the only reason I would argue that it's not a sport. As far as the mental game, I would say that's at the same level as esports. If not, esports is more because there's everything happens so much
Split
faster.
second decisions.
There
yeah.
are people, if you are like 25 or so, you're past your prime for esports because your brain is too slow.
Yeah, that's freaking wild.
It's your reaction time has to just be instant.
what age?
I would bet that's probably
25.
That's
It's-
probably
it's-
close to true for most physical sports.
I
at
guess,
this
yeah,
point, too.
that's true. But I mean, it's the reaction time and the mechanics and stuff is what I mean.
I don't understand why you say that. My reaction is very fast, always. I have never missed the ball in Rocket League. So
That's true.
just saying.
I can vouch.
Yeah,
you
thank
guys,
you.
you guys see the training videos of Mike Tyson?
No.
Like from back in the day, or
No,
for his,
like recently.
upcoming one?
Yeah, it's
I mean, like
Come on, I've seen
for the Hangover.
No,
Oh, that's a good
no,
point.
he's fighting. Gosh, who's he
Buster
fighting?
Douglas.
No, he's fighting
Evander
somebody.
Holyfield.
No, I
it's
can't remember
the
who he's
other guy.
fighting. But they showed
George
some training
Foreman.
videos, and man, he was like getting after it.
What about chess? Is chess a sport?
I think chess falls in the same category as poker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's not physical exertion
But
necessarily.
mental, yeah.
But I mean, Serial makes a good point. They said, he said,
Yeah, Temp, hold on. Temp puts a lot of dots in the chat. Temp, everyone knows you're past your prime, okay? Just so, happy birthday. You're well
can we get
past
some
your
happy
prime.
birthday spam in the
Even
chat for Temp?
further.
Does he turn 25 today?
No, he turns 20 older than that today.
How old
turns
did you
29
think
today.
he was?
Oh, 29. I didn't know.
You seemed genuinely shocked to learn that he's over 25.
No, I was trying to figure out when you said he's 20 over that.
Over what you said, 25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
he's 45.
that's what I was like for a second. I was like, wait, I don't understand.
No, I didn't know if I should say what his actual age is, but too late. I already did.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Sorry, Sam. Anyway, that's all.
All I've learned from Robert is how much I want to play Rocket League.
Yes.
and then a faking in the chat.
Hey, listen, I am not great at Rocket League, but we will have fun. These are the facts.
Yeah.
110% effort.
We are, yes. I will
0%
always
mechanics.
try my hard.
Roy
I'll
Jones
always
Jr.,
try my
that's what it
hardest.
is. Yeah.
And I half the time will execute. Half may be generous. Little less than half the time will execute. It's fun.
All right. Is that it?
At my Rocket League whiffing. Yeah. If 25 is your prime, this month I turned 10 years older than that. So yes, I am well past it.
Happy birth month.
Oh, thank you.
It will forever be in the shadow of your child.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. My birthday is now concealed.
Yes.
behind the shadow of my child. That's true.
Are we good?
Yeah.
We good.
Hey, thanks for sticking with us, YouTube.
Yeah,
It's
thanks,
been
YouTube.
fun.
Before we end, Kyle has a super chat. It says, will the Captain America... What?
Oh, I meant no,
I didn't
like
see
we're
that.
not
Go
done.
ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's just super chat.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I. Never mind. Never mind.
You're good.
Go ahead. Go.
You could read it.
It just came through on my screen.
Oh,
But
okay.
He said, "Will the Captain America
Wait,
shield
he said,
Dynamax?"
okay, so he
Wait,
said...
hang on. We have a super chat.
Yep. Before we end, we have a super chat. It's Kyle Stevenson. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate you, Kyle. He says, you want to take this one?
Go, just read it.
He says, will the Captain America Shield Dynamax ever come back?
Kyle, unfortunately, it will not. We did a licensing deal with Marvel a little while ago. It expired, I guess, a few months back now, and we are not renewing that. So if you find one, pick it up because it's not going to be run again. There you go.
Okay, now you can end.
We good?
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks for hanging
Say
out, everybody.
bye.